let's talk about a place that would have systemic issues of harassment or discrimination. If it's so baked into the culture and so a part of the culture, I really do think, it's not going to just be sexual harassment because they're going to be discriminating against you in so many other ways that I do think that, it does raise the likelihood of other forms of discrimination. And so if you see one, it's, if you see like, oh yeah, there's a problem of, it's not just an isolated incident, but there are multiple issues of the same kind, that kind of tells you something about how the company handles these problems, right? And handles things like discrimination, whether that's, pay disparity or sexual harassment or the way that um, employees are treated when concerns are raised. Like, are they retaliated against or are they just allowed to keep doing their thing with no consequences? So I do think that those are always big red flags for there being other underlying problems.
Yeah, it seems like ethics is something that accompanies the whole, gamut of behavior. So they're like not treating employees properly, even in a general way. They might be then more likely to mistreat women in a sexually harassing way and also in the way they pay them.
Yeah.
One question that comes up in the chat, and also I had it written. So, how do you think men should, you know, help or, proactively engage in this situation when they see that? I know that you talk about one manager who helped you and he was fired or he left. But
He was
then,
pushed out, yeah, for
yeah,
standing up
so
for me, and yeah. I think, if you see others being mistreated or others being treated unjustly, that is a big warning sign that there is something very rotten at the company, and it's always like it's never a bad idea to help someone. It's
mm,
always like, you're never going to regret standing up for someone or speaking up for someone or checking in on someone. And I remember when I was going through some really rough times, when I was at Uber, like, for example, after I had reported harassment and the retaliation complained about the retaliation, of my reporting that harassment, they isolated me and put me in this part of the office where I was the only person sitting there, and there were, like, all these rows of desks. And one of the things that was so incredible that a lot of the men that were working, in my department did is they started sitting next to me. They would leave their own desks and come and sit in the same place where I was. They didn't say anything. It was a show of solidarity, of they knew what was going on, and they knew I was being retaliated against, and they knew that, you know, the company was trying to keep me away from other employees, and so they said, "Fine, we'll go and sit with her." And that's what they did. And then so HR would move me again to another desk away from everyone else, and, people would see that happening and they would say like, "Okay, we don't really know what's going on, but this is not okay. Let's go join." And that meant a lot.